Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some more Starcraft 2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between LucifroN and LoWeLy. This is a Terran versus Zerg matchup. We are here on the map Cloud Kingdom, and let's begin as always with some player information, starting down over here in the lower left hand spawn position with our blue Zerg player, FXO LoWeLy. LoWeLy is a Zerg player from Belarus, currently playing for Team FXO, as you can see. He did actually also play Zerg in Starcraft Brood War, during which time he represented his country at the WCG Grand Finals in 2005, 6, and 7. Of those 3 years, his best performance was reaching the round of 16 in 2005. Now, as for some recent tournament information, LoWeLy took first place at the 2012 Starcraft 2 World Championship Series Combined European Nationals. This was on June 24th of this year, and then on September 16th, he took 4th place at the Starcraft 2 World Championship Series Europe Finals. His opponent up over here in the upper right-hand spawn position, who is about to get 10 pooled, it appears. This is LucifroN, our red Terran player. Now, LucifroN is a Terran player from Spain who is currently playing for Current 3 Esports Club. He was a very active Warcraft 3 Orc player, playing competitively before he moved into Starcraft 2 during the beta. He is also the older brother of Vortex, who is another Spanish pro gamer. He took second place recently at the LVP Season 3 on October the 27th, and then on November 9th, he took first place at the Stim to Win tournament. Now, let's go ahead and hop in the game now that we've got some player information. We have once more got a very early spawning pool here from LoWeLy, and he's going to be pushing out with some Zerglings. You can see those 6 in production, and also just want to, of course, let you guys know that that information for both these players did come from Team Liquid's Liquipedia. If you're looking for some detailed StarCraft 2 information, that is a place you're going to want to go. Let's go ahead and hop into this match, though. 6 Zerglings with 2 more just about to pop, making their way across the map now. We do have that early Overlord scout for LoWeLy also moving. He'll be scouting that natural expansion now. As you can see, LucifroN still just on the 1 base, although he is saving up and moving down to prepare to come out with that command center. Now we do have that SCV who's going to be bypassing those Zerglings. That should immediately make LucifroN pull back and build another supply depot right here to make sure he does have his full wall off complete. He really needs to make sure he's got that. You know what? No, he's just going to pull down with some SCVs and try to defend this building expansion. He says, I don't want to forfeit this. If I can defend against this early spawning pool, I'm going to be in a good spot. So here we go. We get the Marine and the SCVs engaging. Doing a pretty good job, although as you can see, those Zerglings do quite a bit of damage. They're going to pull back, kill the building SCV of that command center, delaying its construction, and now they walk their way right into the main. LucifroN was gambling there to see if he could defend against that early aggression and still keep his command center going, but as you can see, that did not end up working out, and now he's going to continue to take some damage as he's forced to pull off of the mining line with these SCVs to deal with the rest of these Zerglings. Marines will be able to finally finish that off. But that is a huge delay, not only in the mining time that he lost from here, but also in the construction time of this expansion. Now let's take a look at the resources lost. You can see they are about even, with LucifroN being slightly behind. We'll take a look at worker kills. He did end up killing off 5 workers, so LucifroN did lose a few SCVs in that engagement. Now, you also have to keep in mind there's a couple of things here. You might look at this and say, oh, okay, so, you know, LoWeLy pushed out, and it appears like he did more damage. LucifroN is further behind in the resources lost, and of course, he lost the workers. He had that construction downtime plus the mining downtime. But going for such an early pool does hurt the Zerg player because that is that many fewer drones and that much worse of an income that he does have as a result. If we take a quick look here at the income tab, you can see in terms of minerals, LoWeLy is ahead. LucifroN does have this gas going out of these double refineries though, and so he's really he is certainly a little bit behind in terms of the mining, the resource mining that's going on. You can also see he's got 17 SCVs as opposed to the 23 drones. He does also have those mules going, and of course once this orbital command does finish, we'll see some more muling action there. I suppose the point, though, of all of that jibber-jabbering that I just did was that even though we saw LoWeLy do some damage, it is important to keep in mind that the Zerg player is hindered by going for such an early pool. Even doing some damage doesn't always mean that it's going to be worth it, given the economic loss that you sacrifice in using that early larva to come out with some Zerglings. But that is enough talk about the economies of either player. Let's go ahead and hop into what's going on in the game. We've got a bunch of droning going on right now for LoWeLy as he does try to make up for that loss that he had early on by producing Zerglings and instead. Also a spine crawler coming out front. Now back over here, LucifroN appears to be going for that 1-1-1 build, opening up with that barracks, following it up with a factory and a starport. We do have double Hellions in production at the moment. He's got these two with two more coming through. And the starport is almost complete. Also a bunker being constructed there right out front just to deal with any small groups of Zerglings that he may be seeing. And with these Hellions, we will be seeing LucifroN maintain some map control, at least until that metabolic boost finishes there for LoWeLy. LoWeLy continuing to drone up right now. He's got that spine crawler just about finished over there. And the follow-up, in addition to these early Hellions, will be some cloaked Banshee work. Back over here, you can see that cloak is being researched right now. We got that first Banshee in production. He's also just coming out with SCVs, and that's about it. Going to just try to defend here as he continues to construct this wall and try to do as much harass as possible. First with these Hellions, then following up there with the Banshees. Hellions now moving into the natural expansion, going to roast some drones here, trying to pay LoWeLy back for the economic loss that he took early game. Got a few worker kills so far. The 4 Hellions still alive, now down to 3. Going to be 2 in just a moment. There are the 2. Hellion continues to do some damage. Let's see what the total count was. 13 worker kills all told there for LucifroN. And again, we do have that follow-up there of the Banshee harass, although that hasn't moved out yet. It does appear like he is going to wait till that cloak research finishes, and he's got a second Hellion out in play. Third command center being built. LucifroN will be using this to help saturate that main of the natural, although they're both looking pretty good, so he might just move straight into a third, to be honest with you. Metabolic boost is now done for LoWeLy, scouting forward here with some Zerglings. Going to make it right by that unfinished wall off and waltzes his way into the main, spots the Banshees. Should have also spotted that research that was taking place there on the tank lab, which means he knows what's going on. We'll be trying to delay the construction of these engineering bays, although they do finish. So now he knows, okay, well, there are some Banshees coming. So you can see that Overseer in production. Also, he's got his infestation pit almost finished. With that, he could, of course, fungal growth the Banshees. But with that Overseer, after scouting out, that was actually really beautiful there. Really beneficial for LoWeLy, because in scouting that out, it told him preemptively, hey, I need some cloak detection. So now he's got the Overseer plus these Queens, and with that pathogen gland research coming through, we will be seeing those infestors shortly as well, which will further help him defend against this upcoming harass. Banshee's moving right by that Overlord, so obviously now LoWeLy knows their position, able to adjust the placement there of his Queens to deal with that, and the Banshees are just going to try to find a weak spot. Also moving in now with the Hellions forward towards that natural, pulling back as he spots the Queens, and this is just some great defense here for LoWeLy. Uh-oh, Hellions moving back in the natural expansion. Speedlings forced to come down to engage here. Going to see a few more worker kills, now up to 19 worker kills so far this game for LucifroN, but his Banshees, unfortunately for him, have not done anything as of yet. Cloak has been engaged. He is now moving once again towards that natural expansion, and we'll be trying to do some economic damage. Here we go. Got a couple of worker kills so far. Takes a few shots from that Spore Crawler. Queen moving forward. Queen's over here as well. Here comes the Overseer. Banshees need to be careful. They're going to pull back just in time, taking a little bit of damage, but they haven't been killed completely, so they're going to be able to continue to engage, although we do have that Overseer making chase over here. He's going to tuck himself in the upper left corner just to see if those guys try to pull on through and try any sneaky business. Zerglings now moving right up into this position. Now we can see we do have that creep spread going on, and this Zergling will be taking out that one SCV. The Orbital Command moving to try to land. Now, not only does he have to move this Overlord, but he also has to wait for that creep to recede. That's a great thing about doing this creep spread at potential expansions that your opponent may be trying to move to. Now, I do wonder if he's going to try to engage with these Zerglings as the Marine reinforcements and the tanks come down. A little bit too much, though, I believe, for him to engage right now, especially with those Banshees able to get a few pop shots off without any response. Plus, we have got that tank sieging up. Now, we still has to wait for this creep to recede, but nevertheless, LucifroN will now be able to expand here into this position. Do we have a third up and running now for LoWeLy? We've got the Burrow research coming through. Wonder how many infestors he decided to make. Looks like we'll just be seeing 3, not that heavy of an amount as he continues to spend Vespian to get some upgrades, 2 upgrades, as well as that Burrow research coming through. And also some more Queens, some great anti-air, as well as just general defense. And of course allows you to spread that creep, get some transfuses. And here we go. He's going to get the fungal. Yes, he does get the fungal. Queen's moving forward, and that's going to be it for those 2 Banshees. See you later. And those are the only Banshees that LucifroN had. So now he is Banshee-less, and we'll just be sticking here with these Marines, tanks, and Medivacs. Does appear to be that composition that we are seeing. Yes, that is in fact the case. Marine, tank, Medivac here for LucifroN. Zerglings preparing to move into hit. Perfect timing here, as we are seeing LucifroN on siege and move back with his Marines. Zerglings gonna be able to move in, try to do a little bit of damage. LucifroN nearby though, able to pull back and defend and really stop them from doing all that much. I've got some infestors waltzing about. I'm not so certain about this one that is moving around unburrowed. That's a little bit dangerous. Zerglings moving back in to try to harass. Spire and Hive Tech now coming out for LoWeLy as he prepares to move into those Brew Lords. And I gotta see, we got an infestor over here. That is spotted though. Gets taken out. And the other infestor right over here against spotted with all these missile turret placements. Some great defense here against these burrowed infestors. These missile turrets allowing him to detect them and take them out without any hassle. And LucifroN now moving into the attempted expansion position over there. Takes out that one and preparing to move into the third. We got a fungal growth going down on some forward Marines. The rest of the Marines and tanks moving forward. Queens pushing forward to try to buy some time. There's a fungal growth doing a little bit of damage, but with these medevacs plus their combat shield, able to take quite a bit of that. Going to need more than one fungal to deal with those Marines. Marines now stemming out, moving forward. The spines are gone. No more spines, and this expansion is in trouble. What does he got? He doesn't have a lot over here. It's coming out with a few more infestors than Zerglings, but these Stimmed Marines going to be tearing through the worker count, and he's about to take this out as well. 36 workers killed now so far this game. LoWeLy in a bit of trouble here. Losing this expansion would be a huge problem for him. He's got to try to defend this. We got those two tanks on the low ground. Queens moving forward with his Zerglings. Zerglings first take out the tanks, then push back. Fungal growth on the Marines. He does take care of it. There's a few more here in this medevac. Also, we had a drop going on up here at the same time. Uh-oh. 51 worker kills now. A couple of medevacs moving over here with some Marines. LucifroN doing a great job here, taking out that expansion, then hitting the worker count up here as well. And this is not looking too good for LoWeLy right now. Now, he does have those Corruptors coming through, and that Greater Spire is almost done, which will, of course, mean he will come out with those Brew Lords, but he is suffering right now. Take a look at the income. LucifroN having an advantage. He is mining here from these three bases. Can afford to get this a little bit more saturated, so hopefully we see him do that soon. We do have another attempted expansion coming up here for LoWeLy. Should probably try to rebuild down over here. And back again with the drop, doing some more damage. Was able to take out the medevac and then take out the Marines that were dropped, but still continuing to take damage. And we've got the scans allowing these Marines here to take out those creep tumors. This is rough going here for LoWeLy. He is in a tight spot. You take a look at the resources lost, quite a bit behind right now, 5,900 as opposed to the 8,200, and he hasn't responded with any counter harass. I mean, really, what can he do? He's been so busy defending himself. Stimmed Marines taken out. Ouch. Stimmed Marines taking out the one infestor. They were able to burrow in time, though, before the other four met that same fate, and able to take out the medevac filled with Marines, so that's a little bit of a victory there for our buddy FXO LoWeLy. Allowing him to creep a little bit closer here. Still, though, is behind, and again, with the worker kills, you can see LucifroN killing off 55 workers this game. He's got a follow-up push, bunch more Marines, few Vikings as well. And we've got these infestors caught a bit out of position. There's a fungal ghost to try to defend themselves, moving forward as well. Lots of fungals going down. Few Zerglings also coming forward. But we do have a few Marines over here, and these Marines doing so much work this game. Infestors now out of energy, forced to burrow and retreat. More Marines moving forward. There's the scan, taking out these infestors. That is such an expensive loss. Queens get dropped. We've got this expansion up and saturated here for LucifroN. LucifroN in a very strong position. Eats the fungal growth, losing the rest of these Marines. LoWeLy just barely able to hang on to this expansion. Also, he still has this one going, and he is all set. Look at that. Resources lost now. They are about even. LoWeLy hopefully will saturate this expansion soon. My major concern, though, for LoWeLy is that he hasn't returned fire at all. He hasn't done any economic damage to LucifroN in quite a while, with the exception of that early push that we saw from LoWeLy. It has since then just been LucifroN on the offensive, first with the Hellions, then with those Cloak Banshees, and now with this constant Marine tank aggression. You're going to see a few Zerglings move over here. Planetary Fortress will quite easily take care of that. And LoWeLy forced back. This expansion is done for. We're going to see LoWeLy try to rally up his troops over here. Let's take a look at the army size. You can see LoWeLy quite a bit behind. He's got 57 army supplies opposed to the 86. And my biggest concern is how far behind he is in terms of the resource gathering that's taking place. LucifroN just continuing to capitalize here on his advantage. Uh-oh, tanks caught out of position though, allowing the Zerglings to swoop up. Here come the Fungal Gross, and all of a sudden, the entire army here that we had for LucifroN gets taken out. Also, a couple Fungal Gross plus these Queens will take out these Vikings, and oh boy. That was a pretty significant victory there for LoWeLy in that engagement. But once again, without hindering the economy of LucifroN, he is just going to continuously deal with this relentless assault of Marines and tanks, and now Marauders being thrown into the mix as well. Now, we don't have any Broodlords. I remember we saw that Greater Spire coming through, and I don't know if that was destroyed. No, the Greater Spire is still over here. I'm assuming he's just under the in the position where he doesn't feel like he can really afford those. He's been forced to continuously rebuild these infestors, which are pretty crucial, and that of course is Vespene intensive, hindering him from coming out with those Broodlords. All right, we got a few Marines moving down over here towards this expansion. Also, a very large force moving in this direction. But take a look at this, Speedlings and Banelings. This is going to be the economy hit, but at what cost is it going to come at? As he is definitely losing this expansion here. Going to move forward with a few Infestors and some Zerglings. We've got to keep an eye on these Speedlings and Banelings, see when he decides to engage. Push also coming over here of Marines, taking out this expansion now. Here come the Speedlings and Banelings moving towards this Expo right here. They're going to do quite a bit of damage, but he is also losing this expansion. He has lost this one, and this one appears to be a goner as well. So while he is doing some damage over here, was it worth it? Was it worth having a significant portion of his army thrown at this position and to lose all of these bases? He's lost these two, manages to hold on to this one though as he comes out there with those Speedlings and Infestors. He's still got this very large push that he's got to contend with. A few Speedlings now moving over here. They're going to continue to do some economic damage. Love to see this, but at the same time, he's got this huge threat knocking at his front door. Brood and Infestors moving down. We'll be dropping a few infested Terrans. That's going to force those tanks to, Infested Terran's going to take them out. We've got all of this force over here. Oh, these tanks are so very low. So close to taking those out. We got a few supporting tanks also down in this position. Big fungal growth, covering a wide area. What am I saying? Who knows? But this is a lot of trouble here for LoWeLy. He has got to engage sometime soon. He is going to lose this expansion. Here comes the push. Finally, Infestors move forward. Here come the Infested Terrans. Fungal Gross, unfortunately, can't reach this bio over here. The Infested Terrans allowing him to take out those tanks. And we have these Queens also moving forward, and LoWeLy calls the GG, realizing he is done for. We had a push over here, taking out that expansion, and what a game here between these two players. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to conclude this match here between LucifroN and LoWeLy. You know, we saw LoWeLy open up with that early pool for a bit of aggression, allowed him to do a little bit of economic damage, but then after that point, it was just non-stop pressure from LucifroN. LucifroN first moving out with that Hellion aggression, following it up with some Cloak Banshees, and then this non-stop Marine tank push, eventually also moving here into Marauders, as we saw, proved to be a bit too potent as he was able to systematically take out LoWeLy's expansions one after the other. What a game. Let's go ahead and wrap this up. Thanks again for watching, guys. If you like the content, please subscribe. Stay tuned in the future for more SC2 and other gaming coverage right here on the channel. And as always, keep watching and keep owning.